Welcome, everybody, to Cup with Gup on this rainy, soggy Wednesday, October 27th. We have quite the tournament ahead of us with the crazy weather that looks to be happening over in Bermuda. We had our own crazy weather here last night. Had a tornado touchdown about half a mile east of us. So I had a nice little 1 a.m. wake up with the sirens going off and everything. But everybody's safe. No big issues here. No one hurt. No one nothing like that. No big damage here. Just a lot of wind and rain on our side. Interesting week this week with this tournament. I do feel better about it where I sit right now than maybe 48 hours ago. Got pretty much everything locked up. I'm just waiting a little bit longer before I post the final thoughts for the premium members as it relates to weather advantages, stuff like that. Right now, come join us. Use the code CUP and get 20% off any package, including the 7-day free trial. So risk-free trial. If you don't like it after 7 days, cancel. You never see a charge. The NFL Listener League is up. It'll be in the podcast audio description if you want to click on it. Get it reserved. Let's get it filled up quick. Rate and review us on iTunes. Truly appreciate that. Let's see if we can get a bunch of new reviews out there this week. It really goes a long way. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video for me, and in the comment section, tell me who you would play in the 8K range. Give away 4 Millie tickets to the Thursday night Millie Maker Showdown. NFL yesterday. I will be giving away some more tomorrow on the Cup with Gup. I'm going to try to do that early, so you got plenty of time to reach out to me and get you your $20 so you can get your contest reserved. Underdog right now, the new promo out yesterday. Get dollar for dollar match up to $100 when you use the code GUP. Link is in the description. They have pick'ems out now for college football, PGA, MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, soccer, esports. So everything you need. You want to do some parlay pick'ems. You can get up to 20x your money just parlaying over and unders. You can. One thing I like about them is you can mix and match sports. So you can go through all those sports I just said, find the ones you like. Each play that you add on enhances the multiplier. So somewhat similar to Monkey Knife Fight, but a little bit different. So I like the different platforms. I like to look at both to see if there's an edge there. Use both of them for sure. You can use my plays on both as well. And then start building our bankroll over there on Underdog. So in May, when they drop the new best ball, you'll have a little bankroll to start filling those up. PGA Bermuda Championship this week. Biggest deal is the weather. I spent a lot of time on it this morning. I really just don't think there's going to be a wave advantage. It just looks so consistent Thursday that, then you kind of break down Friday as much as you can. And I really just don't see a big enough for me to go in there and go, man, I'm going to, fade or, do an entire stack or anything like that. Probably the biggest thing I would do at this point is try to listen to the industry, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And if it just is overwhelming, someone thinks there's a big advantage, I may try to stack a little bit the other way. But right now, I just don't. I mean, the wind's going to be 25 plus. They shut down the Pro-Am today. Didn't even have it. The practice range and course is shut down as of now. They're going to reevaluate around 2 or 3 o'clock. So they may not even get on the course today. We talked about that yesterday. I'm in my final rankings and final model obviously bumped some of the course history. Course history in this case, simply because these guys didn't get to get out there a lot and see it. Doesn't mean, these guys are some of the best in the world, even though it's a weaker field. They can go out there unseen and not do well, but certainly an advantage to some guys that have been around here and know the course better than others. But Thursday, I just don't see. I mean, if I was going to say there was a little bit of an advantage, I would lean that, the later Thursday you go out, the better. But then I would say the later Friday you go out, the better. The winds start dying down and actually turning a little bit Friday afternoon. So you're not going to have a Thursday. You're not going to have a PM draw. So I really don't see that big of an advantage to make it a weather draw for me. I'm just going to play the guys as I have them. Again, I'll be monitoring this. So 12 hours from now, if things seem to change on Friday significantly, or maybe late Thursday looks to be calming down so we could get that PM AM turnaround, or even things die down a little early Thursday morning, and then the guys going out Friday PM. So I'll monitor that. And obviously the premium members, I'll be updating them on the final thoughts. And if there's any kind of necessity for the heat maps, I'll do that. But right now in general, it's just going to be not a fun week for these guys. Went lighter on the betting card. Saturday, so that we survive all that. Then Saturday and Sunday, they got 70 to 90% chance of thunderstorms again. Winds are turning, so they're going to be out of the south instead of the west northwest, and still going to be 15 to 25 on the weekend. So, showdown, nothing yet as far as an advantage there at all. In this kind of stop start, and we're not going to have any stats. It just is a week to. I'm going to have my main stuff in there, and I'll watch to see if there's some good value that pops up. But overall, I just want to get to Monday and get to the next week for my Acoba. Feel good about the main slate stuff. Showdown, maybe I'll take a look at if they start. But, when they start having those delays and all that stuff, Thursday and Friday, they really shouldn't get much rain. So it may be some issues on the weekend. But you'll have a chopped field. It'll be after the cut. So I should be able to get everything in. Friday potentially could have an advantage to the PM guys on Showdown. That's probably the biggest one I see right now, would be round 2 going out as late as possible, because it really looks like that wind's dying down. So maybe I'll keep an eye on that. Certainly we'll try to do the limited Showdown stuff like I did last week, really just showing the raw stats, the easy stats, birdie, bogeys, bogey or better, all that kind of stuff. Mixed with just some of my thoughts of looking at, I actually just go through the scorecards and stuff like that, see if I can, and then obviously this week will be a little easier because we actually will have it on our normal time, be able to watch it more. So in those cases, I tend to take notes and stuff like that a little bit better. Last week being overnight, it was a little more difficult, but all in all, I feel pretty good. As far as the weather go, no advantage for me right now. I'm just going to roll with it. Premium members, I will be updating Slack and my final thoughts this evening if anything changes on that. Moving up for me on the week, Davis Riley looks to be really low owned, probably sub 4 or 5%. Moved up pretty good in the final rankings. I like him a lot this week, 7,100, a good price, great college kid. I like his upside over the next 3 to 5 years, but this could be a good spot for him. Nick Hardy, I talked about him a little yesterday. He didn't move up but he was already in my top 10 of my original rankings. But the more I've looked at him and kind of looked at different things, I really like him this week at $7,900. Bo Hossler is a guy I think I may have mentioned a little bit yesterday. He's moved up for me. Obviously a Texas kid, played at Texas, got some win experience there. Can get hot with the flat stick. He's not going to be hardly owned at all, $7,000 flat. He's a guy that kind of caught my eye in the last 12, 18 hours. And then Dylan Fertelli is a guy that kind of moved up, jumped up for me. He's inside the top 40 now, 7,600. Another Texas guy, played at Texas, can grind it out. I think that fits me, when I think about it. Putting's not as good. That's where he can be weak. I know great putters have done well here in the past, but it's going to be interesting with these strong winds. They know they're going to have strong winds pretty much all week. I'm sure they're going to have the green slower. It'd be interesting to see how that affects the leaderboard when we start looking at, unfortunately we won't have, strokes gain putting for here or anything like that, but maybe watching to see if guys are just draining putts or is it equalized a little bit this week. I'm leaning more heavy on guys that are, great ball strikers, great with their irons, and then hoping the putting just gets hot to an extent. Fade are moving down to me. Russell Knox is going to be probably my most interesting call. I like him a lot. He literally will be top 3 owned for sure in my latest models. So it's an ownership thing, and it really depends on, like, if I fade like a Fitz, Hadwin, Bezadenhout, maybe 2 of those 3 completely, then I don't mind getting some Knox because I've kind of cleared out. Fitz is going to be popular. Hadwin's going to be popular. Knox is going to be popular. Bezadenhout's going to be popular. All the guys in the 10K range I have above 15% right now. And that's going to be natural in a field like this because people don't want to, you start gunning down this board, it gets iffy. And then you're just going to get, a bunch of guys will most likely pick a few 6K that they feel good with and then just pepper the 7s and some 8s, which tends to leave the 9s a little bit lower owned in general. But for by and large, my ownership projections right now, and I'll finalize them, here this afternoon, pretty tight because I think a lot of people are just, going to spread it out. I do think those guys I mentioned who are going to be the highest owned, I feel pretty good about that. So it's really about who I want to eliminate and who I want to keep. I think Knox is a good fit here. You think about the wind, you think about his course history here is pretty good. It's just a matter, do I want to fade? Where do I want to make some leverage plays this week? McCarthy is one that I was going to be high on, I thought, this week. He relies a lot on the putter, and I talked about that on the Smash Factor, but he's coming in north of 15% now at 8,500, and it is a big putter for him. This wind's crazy, and if, that could just throw him off even more if he's not that great of an iron player in general. I'll pass on that. Hubbard is a guy that's kind of got steamed up a little bit. He's not crazy. I think he'll be 10 to 13% range. But where he falls in my rankings, that's a guy I can easily mark off and gain some leverage there. He dropped pretty significantly in the deep dive as well. And then Hadwin, that's a guy that, he just doesn't rate out very well, overall. I can see why he's popular and why people like him, and he's coming in pretty decent. I get all that, but he's probably in a spot for me that I could fade him and really gets me leverage. I mean, I know he finished 6th at the Shriners, 45th at the Sanderson. He's never played here, so not being able to see the course this week, all those kind of negative spots, I can fade him. And if that gets me to a Knox who has played here, I know they're not priced similarly, but talking about the ownership of my total player pool, I think I can fade Hadwin and to get to some guys I like elsewhere. Names that pop for me, Scott Stallings is a guy that, just his pedigree compared to the field and where he's at, $8,600, he's probably going to be 5 to 8% range. Right around top 25, top 30 in the final rankings, which is about, right for that price. I kind of like him. He's going to be low owned though. So lower owned, that's a good, play to sneak in there. Bo Hogue, I talked about him when he was coming off a year ago, getting into the tour. He was a grinder. And I think it went back to maybe the Corn Ferry. I think he had 25 events where he had top 10s. He never got the win, but always grinded. And you looked at his scoring, it wasn't ever like he had some flash there, but didn't miss a lot of cuts. Or maybe that was it. It was like 25 straight made cuts, like 10 top 10s, never won per se, but the made cut deal was important. And he's done that some here as well as he's gotten on the PGA Tour. I like his upside in general. And he's played here twice, an 11th and a missed cut. So, it's somewhat of a up and down, boom bust type deal. But at 7,000, I think that's a good price for him this week. Danny Willett, I thought, and maybe maybe I'll be wrong on this, but I don't see a lot of people going to him. And you kind of get this narrative of tougher conditions, all that kind of stuff, which we know that's when he won the Masters. I would think he'd be up there for who he is and people knowing him, Masters champion stuff. But I only got him in that 9 to 12% right now. I'll see if that adjusts throughout the afternoon. Played here last year, so at least he's seen the course. He made the cut, finished 55th, nothing crazy. 21st at Shriners, playing well overseas as well. I kind of like him. Then the last one kind of caught my eye yesterday. Ludwig Aberg. He is the number 1 Euro amateur, and he also plays at Texas Tech. He caught my eye because he was one of the guys that kind of got into the field. I don't even remember when, but he was 7K, and I was like, who is this guy? He was a late ad type deal, or because he wasn't in my initial rankings Monday, and I saw the 7K, and I was like, who gets added at 7K? And I don't, so I started researching him, and not only is he a tremendous amateur, obviously, he plays at Texas Tech. If you're not familiar with Texas Tech, it may be one of the windiest places on earth. West Texas has plenty of wind, so a lot of things about him, that I like. 21 years old, young kid. You start researching, and I think, man, he could really do well here, especially in these kind of conditions. He's certainly used to playing, in some wind. Nothing crazy to get over. I don't even know how many people are going to be aware of him. But, 7K especially, people are going to be like, who's that? Exactly how it was. So I don't know if they'll go research it, but I do like him. I'll have some of him this week for sure. Leverage play, it's probably, Higo's probably the easiest. I try to pick like a leverage play, meaning people are aware of it, but these are just not going to him. He's going to be sub 5%. Pendrith is going to be sub 8-9%. Maybe with T.S. Schwab, he's probably going to be 10% or less as well. Those are all guys. I thought Reed would kind of maybe get looked over, but I think I think all those guys in the 10K are going to wind up hitting 15% or more just by the nature of the tournament and the field. Monkey Knife Fight plays this week. Let's get back to a winning week. We lost last week on PGA after a pretty good run. You still get that 100% deposit bonus up to $100, dollar for dollar match. Also, on all World Series plays, if you go in there and play some World Series, for every $20 you put in play, you get a free $5 ticket. You don't have to use a code or anything for that. They just naturally will give it to you. So tonight, game 2, go pick you out some over-unders. $20 in play gets a free $5 ticket. And then use my code GUPS, GUPS. If it's your first time, deposit up to $100 and get up to $100 right back in your account to start playing with it. The link is in the description there. Remember the code GUPS. I like the rapid fire this week. It's 3X, and I got Fitzpatrick over Gay, which they have straight up. So I felt that was a lot of respect for Gay. I know he's the defending champ, but I'll probably take Fitzpatrick over Gay most weeks straight up. And this is birdie or betters. So Fitzpatrick more birdies than Gay. And then the second part of that leg is Mito plus a half a birdie over Seamus Power. I like Power this week, certainly, but it's probably close to a coin flip. So I get a half a birdie for free on Mito. I really love the Fitzpatrick side of it, so I went ahead and locked that in. That's 3X your money. If you want to get a little risky, you can add 2 more to it. It's another rapid fire. This pays 11X, and I took Bezadenhout plus half a birdie over Patrick Reed, and then Guido minus half a birdie over McCarthy. So if you do all 4 of those, that pays 11X, or you can just stay conservative with the 3X on the 2 plays there. Link is in the description. Code GUPS gets you a free $100 if you deposit 100. If you do 20, you get 20, however you want to do that. Remember, use the code CUP. Come join us now. 20% off any package. Includes a risk-free 7-day trial. Tomorrow, Cup with Gup, I will have Thursday Night Football Showdown play. Should be a good one. Probably be waiting to see if Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard are able to clear the COVID protocol in time for the game. If not, it'll probably open up some value. I'll have my Monkey Knife Fight picks for that as well. And then I'll give some more winners away for the Millie Maker tomorrow night. Coin flip out tomorrow afternoon as well. The hot route with Ryan, our full main slate DFS preview, will be out late Thursday, early Friday. The read option with Bobby Berger, college football DFS GOAT, will be out Friday morning. And then Sunday morning, we do the live chat at 10 Eastern. If we have enough interest out of the community and things are rolling, I'm around every Sunday morning, but if we get enough questions rolling in there, I go in there and we do the live chat and have some fun with that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Premium members, I'll be in touch all afternoon as looking at that weather update if I decide to do some heat maps and stuff like that. Hope you guys have a blessed Wednesday and talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.